We'll start with the negative. What dialogue is not? So a good dialogue in a novel is not just a conversation. It is part of the story, so it does need to fulfill a purpose. It's not just chit-chat. It also can't just be exposition. This is not your way of passing on information to the reader in great big information dumps, or using it to pass on lots of research. It does need to have a very strong purpose. It also shouldn't be a monologue. There are certain instances where you might write a long speech for a character, but beware of characters making very long speeches, particularly your male characters. I did a fascinating course many years ago with a psychologist who taught a bit of sort of the differences between the male and the female psyche. And she pointed out that women tend to speak in very long sentences and ramble on, and men tend to be quite short and succinct. So bear that in mind when you're writing your character's dialogue as well. And when you use lengthy pieces of dialogue, make sure that it's for a purpose and not just rambling. And I will show you an example later of a purposeful ramble. Dialogue is not realistic. Now, this seems a bit counterintuitive because you've probably been told that dialogue should sound natural and realistic. However, when we speak in real life, we have lots of ums and ahs. We sometimes repeat ourselves. We don't finish our sentences. We're all over the place. We also we repeat ourselves, as I've just done. And sometimes we make chit-chat that would quite frankly be boring for a reader. So what you want to do is write realistic dialogue and then pare it down to the essentials, bearing in mind that Kurt Vonnegut quote of every sentence, every line of dialogue should fulfill one of those two purposes. And if it doesn't, we need to be ruthless and cut it. Dialogue is the one place in your novel where you want to be really ruthless and really pare it down to the essentials so that you're not wasting time on boring chit-chat that is going to make the reader want to start skipping ahead. We also have something that we call, as you know, Bob. This is those famous sentences where two friends who've known each other since childhood, two best friends, say, the one says to the other, as you know, Bob, my father is a plumber. Well, of course, your friend Bob is going to know your father's a plumber if he's known you since childhood, and the reader's going to roll their eyes and think you're only trying to tell me this information in the most lame way possible. So try to avoid as you know, Bob syndrome.